The other day, I got triggered at work. I was sharing something in a small meeting, and I said, rather than getting to the heart of something, we're going to get to the meat of it, like sort of the most meaty issue. But they didn't really understand, and I mixed my metaphors up. And so they laughed, and they weren't laughing at me. It was all in good faith. But my inner child felt really bad. I felt pretty hurt and misunderstood. And I'd spent the whole day going around in rapid paced introductory sessions with my director there. And my part of the business has got a big opportunity for headroom for growth. And so I've just felt a lot of pressure and a lot of new stuff going about the day. And so I was a bit like, when a kid's exhausted and then something really mundane will just trip them up and then they get furious about it. That's kind of how I felt. But, I was triggered and I had to honor that. And so the last 30-ish minutes of the day were not my most productive. And then when I had to go home, the trains were delayed because of trespassers on the tracks. So I had to run to catch the train before all of the rest of them were cancelled. And so by the time I finally got home, I was physically and emotionally exhausted. And I knew what I needed to do. I needed to stop, calm myself down, slow myself down, and really soothe myself. But there was a big part of me that really didn't want to do that. And I haven't been doing that very well for more than 20 years, so it's not really a surprise, but it was something that I needed to do. But I had one thing going for me that helped. Recently, I've come to view myself as a 2-year-old. And what would you do if a 2-year-old came up to you crying and exhausted? You'd pick it up, you'd give it a big hug, and you'd soothe it and you'd go, "Oh, it'll be okay, you'll be all right. Yes, I know." And I desperately needed someone to do that for me, myself. I needed to do it for myself. And so when I got home, I put on a YouTube video to distract the part of me that really didn't want to do that. And I sat on my floor in a little ball and I soothed myself. And I gave that to me. I listened to my inner child and I soothed myself. And really, my inner child is just me. Because this idea of the inner child is a very helpful and useful way of framing things. But the reality is that there is no little child in you. You are who you are now. You're an adult with a dysregulated emotional system, and you need to figure out a way to heal that and to calm yourself down. And so you just need to treat yourself like a child and honor the part of you that still is like that, so that you can learn to soothe yourself and to calm yourself. In a way, your inner child is just a way of reminding yourself that you still need to learn how to look after and care for and soothe yourself, both for what's happened in the past and also with whatever comes up in the present. I suppose it's a little bit sad when you think about it like that. Like, here you are, you've got a job, you've got a pension, but you haven't got a emotionally regulated nervous system. And the only way to heal that is by looking at it and spending time with it and learning how to soothe it. And that's a really scary thing to do. Many people in our society, I don't like making broad sweeping statements, but I am going to make this one. Many people in our society have been emotionally shut down. And when you are emotionally shut down, it's not like that goes away. It's just there, bubbling under the surface. And if you're in touch with it, like when you create this idea of your inner child and you start nurturing and building a relationship with your inner child, you realize that it's scary. It's scary to look at that. It's scary to look at all of that pain and that fear and that overwhelm. And that's why most people don't do it. Most people are wandering around as wounded children that have been closed off because it's easier to do. It's kind of easier to do. It's suffering, but it's easier to do than to look at and face those parts of yourself and to integrate them and to give them love. And that's why I have my inner child. He is a stand for me to remember to look after myself when I'm tired and overwhelmed and just need to take a moment to soothe myself. He's a reminder of who I once was, a child, free in this world to feel the ways I was given love and that I wasn't given love, and that now it's my responsibility to face those and to both go back into the past and sit with myself and heal the ways that I wasn't given love in the way that I needed, and in the present to top up my love and care meter even today when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Because I have to be that person. I've tried outsourcing it to other people. It doesn't work because it's not their property. My happiness, my well-being is my property. And I'm not saying that co-regulation is a bad thing. Not at all. Co-regulating is a very helpful and useful thing. And if you have a support network who can help you look after yourself, brilliant. Nurture that. Use that. But on a very fundamental level, ultimately, you are the only person who can heal yourself and look after yourself and tend to your inner child. That's your responsibility. You're the only one who can go back into your memories and sit with yourself as a child and hug yourself, and the only one who in the present can really stay with yourself and hug yourself and look after yourself. And what a beautiful gift to be able to give to yourself, huh? Picture the face of a smiling, happy child, that joy, that exuberance, that sheer pleasure from just living and the curiosity about all the wonderful things out there. That is within you. You've got that right now still. And when you nurture a relationship with your inner child, or in other ways you could phrase it as, when you learn to see yourself and to treat yourself as a 2-year-old sometimes, you can access that because you learn to work through all of the things that are blocking it, all of the pain and the guilt and the shame. And these are normal things to feel. And even if you've fully healed or done a lot of work in nurturing that relationship with your inner child, there's still going to be pain, there's still going to be confusion and understanding. But when you have that relationship and you trust yourself to look after yourself, you gain joy and energy and curiosity. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. So I can sit here and say with pride that I treat myself like a 2-year-old. I sit myself down, I give myself hugs, and I soothe myself and tell myself that it's okay. And I thank myself and I thank God that I have had the ability to do that. Because I can feel within me that abundance of energy and joy and curiosity. If you've got to the end of this video, then thank you so much for watching. It would mean a lot to me if you were to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I wish you all the best for your healing journey, and I'll see you again soon.